Hey everybody, it's Tony George from DocSports.com. It's Tuesday, and you know what that means. Week 9 NFL opening line report. I haven't seen the lines, so what I do is I give you raw and candid initial reactions and initial takes on what I think of the opening lines and kind of what direction to get headed in, at least out of the gate. It's like a couple of guys having a cup of coffee at the diner on Monday or Tuesday morning, just talking about the opening lines and a little bit of a recap of last week. Cheers. Plenty of vanilla creamer in there. Too much. Ooh, a little sweet. And of course, this is viewer participation, which means anything that I give you are not handicap picks. And you could tell me what your thoughts are on the games and what your teaser options would be, or a money line parlay, or whatever it is you're into. Leave them in the comments section. I'll go in the back end and approve those comments. We'll leave out the haters and the porn sites and links to other handicapping sites they stick in there for their Super Lock and Millennium page. And I'll interact with you during the week. Now, we get thousands of views and hundreds of comments, and I can't go through them all because I got a handicap for the week. Got all kind of NBA going on. College basketball's right around the corner. And we were in the midst of college and pro football and NHL and NASCAR and everything else. So we'll put up some comments and I'll interact with you. Be sure and thumbs up and subscribe so you get notified whenever myself or any of the handicappers have free picks or shows on this channel, so you never miss a freebie and you can stay informed as well. 3-2 week in the NFL this week for me. One with Pittsburgh on Monday Night Football. I'm going to fade the Giants on the road. You know, it's that offense, although they ran the ball like crazy all over Pittsburgh, which is concerning. If I'd have told you the Pittsburgh Steelers, week 9, would be leading that division and have 2 losses with the quarterback situation they had, or Wilson being hurt in the preseason, you'd told me I was crazy. You'd also told me I was crazy if I told you the Washington Commanders would be leading their division. Yeah. See that play? Wow. The old Hail Mary. Bears thought they had it won. The Bears defensive back thought they had it won. He was taunting the crowd. Then he goes in and tips the ball to the receiver. You knocked the ball down, by the way. We're going to talk a little bit about that game when we bring up these teams during the review. Let's take a look at them. I haven't seen these lines. Let's take a good look at them, see where we're at here. Thursday night game is... What? The Jets are favored 2? Total 42 against Houston? When is everybody going to stop believing the Jets are worth a crap? They're an unmitigated disaster. Jacoby Brissett came in and beat them. Aaron Rodgers is on the downside of a career. He's nothing special. The addition of Devontae Adams has done nothing to bolster their chances. Is that line right? Is half of Houston's team not showing up? Not coming? Is Stroud out? Is Mixon out? You see Mixon, another 100-yard game. They're a different team without... Give me Houston. And if you don't have Houston in a 2-team 6-point teaser with somebody on Sunday, you are out of your frickin' mind. You know, the team that just beat New York, Houston went in and beat the Patriots by 20 3 weeks ago. Square as they come, give me Houston. New England at Tennessee, a battle of uglies here. I don't know the status of their quarterback situation. With Drake May getting knocked out, the Patriots are willing to take him for the team this year and develop a young Drake May, see if he's any good. Tennessee doesn't have a good quarterback. They just got throttled by Detroit. You know, in that game at one point it was 14-14. Total 38. New England laying 3 or getting 3 on the road. You know, it's like the New York Jets, the Titans. You comfortable laying points with them? Total 38. That might go over actually. The Chargers are laying 2, opening line at Cleveland, total 42.5. Okay, so the Chargers beat up on the Saints. They're terrible. Cleveland off a big, huge win. That defensive back for Baltimore dropping the ball when Winston threw it right to him, and the next play they throw a touchdown pass. It's going to be a dagger in the heart to Baltimore. Man, that was brutal. Brutal. Everybody going to jump on the Cleveland bandwagon now? 60% of the money already on Cleveland on a consensus, sportsbook spy thing. Home dog. I'd actually play the under in that game. A couple pretty good defenses. It can be. I don't know. What do you think about this one? Under the fall number of 3, Chargers, at least on the surface, look like the better team. How long before Winston starts throwing the ball away nonstop? Amari Cooper's gone. Don't know. What do you think? This is your game. I'd lean Chargers. Washington, -3.5 at the New York Giants. Now, what you saw last week were 2 teams playing that are somewhat similar, in meaning they went and drafted their franchise quarterbacks and they started them. And we talked about this about 2 or 3 weeks ago on the Gridiron Six-Pack show I do with Griff Murphy up here every Wednesday. And I said the problem with Chicago versus what's going on at Washington with a, top draft pick at quarterback, a star out of college, was coaching. And you saw that on display. Chicago's first 7 drives off a bye week. 6 punts and a turnover on downs. Off a bye week. Against a suspect defense. Jaden Daniels outshined Williams by a mile. The Giants played hard against Pittsburgh. Shellacked the week before. You could run on them. Washington's got a good running back. Initially, let me see if that line's still at 3.5. 43.5. I'd buy the hook down and play Washington. Denver at Baltimore. Baltimore catching 9, or Denver catching 9, 44.5. Now it's 9.5. So, one thing about Denver you got to be careful of. They're beating teams. Sean Payton's done a good job with this team. But the teams they've beaten, Carolina, who sucks, New Orleans, who sucks, that's with a rookie quarterback, no Carr. They lost to the Chargers by 7. That was at home. I had the Chargers in that game. They beat Las Vegas. Las Vegas sucks. They beat the Jets. They suck. They lost to Pittsburgh by 7. And they beat Tampa Bay in a very impressive game, 26-7. Give me Denver. Las Vegas catching 7.5 at Cincinnati, total 47. Give me Las Vegas. I don't care. Cincinnati sucks. I had them as a top play this weekend. They killed me on Sunday. I had 2-2 Sunday, lost 2 units overall, won 4 units back on Monday night, but I had Cincinnati. I thought they would get over on an overrated Eagles team. They can't get anything going. They can't get anything going. You think they missed Joe Mixon? Telling you, that's it right there. I'd take the Raiders plus the 7.5. Total 46. That's about right. New Orleans on the road at Carolina, laying 7, 44.5. My goodness. There's no way I'm laying 7 with New Orleans. Now, if they get Derek Carr back, I would lay it. Total 45, 44.5. If they get Derek Carr back, I would lay that. I'd definitely put him in a teaser. Definitely put him in a teaser. If they don't have Carr, I wouldn't. But if Carr comes back this week, I'd put him in a teaser down to -1. You could stick him with Houston. Atlanta at home. The week I take them on an overplay for a game of the year, they score 14 points, and Cousins looks like a monkey humping a football. And then last week, he looked like a world beater again. Who are you going to get with Atlanta from week to week? And Dallas, catching 3 on the road, total 53. I mean, it's do or die for the Cowboys. And Cowboys, pretty good road team, but the Cowboys have given up 77 points in the last 2 weeks. The Cowboys wins this year at Cleveland to open up the season, and Cleveland sucked. They still suck. Is that right? Then they lose to the Saints by 25. Give me Atlanta. That's down to 2.5. Give me Atlanta. 52.5 is a total. Probably be a high-scoring game, you would think, but I can't count on Cousins. Atlanta's got a lot of weapons, especially at running back. I mean, and Dallas can't, yeah, give me Atlanta. Buffalo, Miami, Buffalo 6.5, total 50. Definitely have Buffalo in a teaser. Miami's just a train wreck. They're a dumpster fire. Their head coach is terrible. He might be a good offensive coordinator somewhere, but he's not a head coach. Miami can't make any adjustments during the game at all. They can't. And Buffalo's rolling now. They're rolling. Yeah, I have Buffalo in a teaser. -1.5 in that game. You think Miami's going to go on the road and beat them? They could even beat Arizona at home. We'll talk about that in a minute. I think Miami's a poorly coached team, and Tua's not up to speed. Yeah, give me Buffalo. Buffalo or nothing for me. I definitely put them in a teaser. Philadelphia, 7.5 against the Jaguars. There's your teaser. Tease Buffalo down to -0.5 point, and take Philadelphia and tease them down -1.5 against the hapless Jaguars. They need to fire their coaching staff. Jacksonville, again, another cleaning house session. They're just an absolute. I mean, they gave Green Bay a game, but Philadelphia surprised me this past weekend. I thought the Bengals were a pretty good football team, and they went in there and just put them over their knee and did whatever they wanted to do to them. In Jacksonville on the road, you can't trust them for anything. Chicago at Arizona. Arizona -1, 44.5. Arizona -1.5, as they should be. Now, I've talked about Chicago. They need to get rid of their coaching staff. That's their problem. You saw that on display last week. You saw it on display last week. Lack of attention to detail, lack of any game planning, lack of any in-game adjustments, just a lack of everything. Arizona, we've talked about them. On the other side of the coin, here's a team that is 4-4. Are they 4-4? I think they are. Here's a team that's 4-4, 5-3 against the spread that play hard for their coach. We talked about this before the season started on season win totals show, that we didn't know if they could get to their season win total, which they're probably going to, but they're going to compete in every game. They did last year. They're doing it this year. They did it last week in a last-second field goal win. Harrison Jr. is no joke. Murray's a good quarterback. Not a great quarterback, but a good quarterback that can extend plays and buy time. And Connor's a hell of a running back. And they're better coached than Chicago by a mile. Give me Arizona. Green Bay catching 3.5 at home against Detroit. Total 48.5. Oh, my goodness. Heavens to Betsy. What's the status of Jordan Love? Got a groin injury in that Miami game. Malik Willis in there. Malik Willis in Green Bay is not going to beat Detroit, but Jordan Love in Green Bay can beat Detroit. If Jordan Love is playing, I would definitely take Green Bay as a home division dog over the fall number of 3 getting the hook. 48.5. You might want to lean over there, regardless of who's playing quarterback for Green Bay, because Detroit's going to have a tough time stopping Jacobs. But if Love plays and is close to 100%, which I don't know, groin injuries, you need to keep an eye on that one. The Rams laying a 1.5 against Seattle, at Seattle, total 48.5. They got both their wide receivers back. They had a big win this week over the Minnesota Vikings. They've had extra time to prepare. They beat the Raiders and they beat the Vikings their last 2 games. They played Green Bay very well. The Rams did. They've beaten the Niners. They gave Detroit all they wanted. And Seattle, well, somehow they beat Atlanta by 20. I'm still pissed about that game because I had the over and it fell 4 points short because Atlanta couldn't get laid to Monkey Whorehouse a fistful of bananas. This is a team that lost to the Giants by 9 at home. Give me LA. Indianapolis at Minnesota laying 6, total 45.5. This is the Sunday night football game. The Colts are 7-1 against the spread this year. Give me the Colts. Yep. Minnesota, maybe they're getting exposed here a little bit their last couple of games. The Colts, I was writing this down. I saw a prelim report as I was looking last week for a contest pick with them, which I took them in the circuit contest, and I amended what I put there. 7-1 against the spread, and here's their losses this year. Points-wise, they lost by 2, 6, 5, 3, 3, 3, 6, and 3. And they're getting 6. Give me the Colts. They just have they're like the Cardinals. They hang around and they don't get blown out. On the Monday night, oh boy, I figured this line would be up there. Tampa Bay is at my beloved Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs 9, now 9.5, 44.5. And the Bucks have played 2 tough games, both at home and lost. They lost to Baltimore on Monday night 2 weeks ago, or Sunday night, Monday or Sunday night. Monday night. Bucks are 2 Monday night football games in 3 weeks. Wow. Then they lost to Atlanta this weekend and come back. They're missing both their wide receivers. I know that Mayfield spread it around in that. Let's take a look at that a minute. How'd Mayfield do in that game? Threw for 330 yards. Holy criminy. 330 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Yeah, he's going to force them. Baker always have picks. 50 attempts. Irving White had 15 touches between the two of them for 73 yards. You got to run the football if you want to beat Kansas City a little bit. But I definitely have Kansas City in a teaser somewhere. I wouldn't. Hang on a second here, too, since we're just being friendly and everything. Let's go ahead and take a look. Now, Kansas City's got Denver on deck. So they're not going to be looking ahead to a week after that. They're at Buffalo. Kansas City going to win the game, yeah. Tampa Bay went on the road, got outgained by 240 yards against Detroit, and won. Kansas City's got an elite defense. Looking. First half line's 5. First half line's 5 in that game. I'd bet Kansas City first half line right now before it goes up. And Kansas City, just, if I'm not mistaken, I haven't confirmed this, but Kansas City got a defensive end from the Patriots. It was a first-round draft pick. Name escapes me. A buddy of mine just texted me. I haven't confirmed that. The trade deadline right around the corner. I haven't read the wire services yet. I've been power ranking college basketball since 5 o'clock this morning. But nonetheless, Kansas City's the only unbeaten team in the NFL, and they keep winning games. They just keep winning games. Yeah, they get all the calls. That's the only reason they're unbeaten. Okay. I'm listening to you out there. Honestly, a lot of guys jump on me about being a Chiefs fan. I've been a Chiefs fan since I've been alive, 50-some years. I grew up in a town in southeast Nebraska that's 2 hours away from Kansas City. Grew up a Royals and Chiefs fan and a Husker fan. So, yeah, shoot me. They're the best team in the NFL. It's on paper. It's on film. Get the best quarterback in the NFL. Now they got DeAndre Hopkins and another stud defensive end on an already real good defense. And arguably the best coach in the league. Arguably maybe the best defensive coordinator in the league. Nagy is no slouch at co-offensive coordinator. Arguably one of the best kickers in the league. I mean, you add all that together, they're a tough out. And Tampa Bay ain't going to beat them. Money line's too high. Just some quick notes. That's for sure, folks. Doc Sports, place to be. Free $60. Link in the description below. We got a tab on the website. You can park $60 in any new account. We will, with no strings and a profit guarantee. Read about that on the website. Thanks for tuning in. Leave your comments. I'll approve them. Let's talk.